Oh, an easy, beautiful, comfortable Tennessee victory. Feels good when it works out that way. Tennessee goes on the road to South Carolina, takes care of business, dominates a pretty lifeless Gamecocks team. John Reed, Donovan Cook, we are here to talk about it. We are here to take your reaction, the voluntary reaction, live right here in the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. If you haven't already and you're listening, you're watching on YouTube, go download the new Fan Run app, especially, well, only if you are an Apple user. Interact with us on there. The video will pop up for you. All of our podcasts, all of our YouTube videos. Donovan, what a beautiful win, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing well, John. Thank you for asking. I don't know if I ever got comfortable until the last 2 minutes with how the season has played out, but
Oh, come on.
thankfully it's a lifeless, soulless piece of crap South Carolina team.
This one was easy. You know, they did come out. I will say, you said the last 2 minutes, and I hope,
That was exaggeration.
yeah, I hope you're being facetious because they did come out at halftime and cut it to 6 and made you sweat a little bit. And you're like, oh, really? Are we really about to play with our food again? Are we really about to do this? But no. Tennessee said no. They called a timeout. They got to a dead ball. They came out. JP Estrella had a little baby hook, got the lead back to 8, and Tennessee never looked back. It was comfortable. No sweat here. No double-digit lead blown. None of that nonsense. Just relentless. This was like a football game as far as I'm concerned, Donovan. And what I mean by that is it was just a situation where one team physically dominated the other. This was like a big-time SEC team playing a MAC team in football, where you just kind of – Tennessee's big men were just too big and too athletic, and it was just nonstop battering ram, like Felix Okpara dunk, JP Estrella dunk, just nonstop.
Just bully ball, so to speak.
Bully ball.
Yeah, JP with 22 and Felix with 20. Did not have that on my proverbial bingo card, but I'll take it, especially with the performance you got from Jacoby and Nate being out. Very thankful that it was South Carolina in this situation, but the guys came through.
You needed it too, because Tennessee, not a great last two games. No way around it. Not a great last two games. Blew some opportunities against Missouri and Alabama at home. You couldn't afford a loss here, but you needed a win just for vibes. You needed a win just to kind of give the boys some confidence. No Nate Ament tonight, which I'm okay with. You know, I've been saying on Talk Sports, airing here on Fan Run Radio every day from 8 to 11 a.m., I've been saying I'm bracing for no Nate Ament until it's tournament time. That's my take, is that I don't think you'll play him on Saturday against Vandy. I don't think you fool with him in the SEC tournament. I think you just let him get healthy, let his ankle get as good as possible, and then roll him out there for the tournament.
I was going to ask which tournament you were referring to.
The big one.
Gotcha.
The big one. That's what I would do. And I'm not Rick Barnes, and I'm not Nate Ament, and they all say he's really tough and wants to play, and we'll see. I'm just saying I would not play him again until the NCAA tournament. If I was a top 10 pick type of talent and I was Tennessee trying to make a run in the NCAA tournament, that would be my focus. Now, if you tell me you get to Saturday or Sunday in the SEC tournament, maybe we have a different conversation. But I'm not putting him out there Thursday night if Tennessee plays on Thursday. I'm not putting him out there Friday night, most likely either. But we'll see.
Did they disclose what the injury was?
They're just saying lower body. They're saying ankle. Now, there's been some arguing, Donovan, about whether or not it's a high ankle sprain or just an ankle sprain.
Gotcha.
The national media said high ankle sprain. Mike Wilson, who just got hired by VolQuest, who does a great job covering Tennessee athletics, he said he had not heard high ankle. He had just heard ankle. So we'll see. But it's a lower body thing. It's been kind of lingering all year long. But I give him as the maximum amount of time to get healthy. Like I said, if you make it to Saturday, if you make it to Sunday in the SEC tournament, maybe we have a different conversation. But I'm bracing just, hey, run him out there either Thursday or Friday, first round, let's go. Which brings me to my point. Tonight was a nice win, 78-59. We'll take your phone calls if you want to weigh in. 865-966-3435. Let's load them up. You can also interact with us on the YouTube chat. Before we get to the phone lines, I do want to make my big point. And my one big point of the game tonight was the Nate Amon injury gave opportunity tonight to Amari Evans and Ethan Berg. And my hope is that they both earn some confidence in themselves, but some trust in the coaches to where maybe those guys get the benefit of the doubt when it comes to playing in postseason games. Because I think both Berg and Evans give you more versatility in your lineups. And the more Berg and Evans we see, the less double bigs we see, the less Jalen Carey we see, and we get a little versatility. So I'm hoping that this Nate Amon injury is a little bit of a blessing in disguise. 865-966-3435. Let's kick off the phone calls. Let's bring on Roberto. What's up, Roberto? Donovan, patch him in. Make sure the phone pots up. Roberto, are you there, my friend?
He is.
Roberto.
He's calling back. It drops.
Okay, it's fine. Pick it back up. It's all good. It's all right. 865-966-3435. The Brewster writes in, John Jacoby heard you tell him to stop the lobs, and he said, hold my beer. Now, hold on. Hold on now just a second, Brewster. Let's be fair. Let's be fair to me. I did say stop the lobs, but then, if I remember correctly, I said, hey, you can do them in the first half. You can do them in the first 5 or 6 minutes of the second half, but once the game gets in crunch time, once it gets under 10 minutes, no more lobs. That's when he messes up the lobs, especially when he's coming around like a curl, when he's curling around a screen and throws it kind of blindly. I'm okay with the straight, like I'm going downhill throwing a lob. But again, I still don't want to see him during crunch time. We got Roberto now. Let's check Roberto. Roberto, welcome to the Voluntary Reaction. The floor is yours.
Man, that first caller button's detonating everybody this week, Johnny boy.
You know, Donovan, he handled adversity, though. We give him points for that.
He did. I give him respect.
It smacked him in the face, but he said, I'm going to get better, and I'm going to handle it. So shout out to him. How are you tonight, my friend?
I'm doing really well. Thanks for asking. I got to go out tonight and watch the game a little bit and hang out with my kids. It was really good. It's fun to actually kick somebody's ass.
Yep.
And, just stick it to them.
Yep.
The thing that stood out to me, obviously, Jacoby Gillespie's become a point guard, which is kind of cool. And 12 assists and 1 turnover is a hell of a game. But our ball handlers, I think, went for 16 assists and only 3 turnovers.
I don't know how you want to differentiate ball handlers or whatever, but just as a team, we went for 22 turnovers or 22 assists and 6 turnovers. So, a couple of those were JP Estrella. I don't consider him a ball handler, like you said.
Handler.
Right.
I don't think I consider Evans, and I think Evans had 2 as well. I don't really consider him a ball handler.
And that's fair.
So that's kind of,
yeah.
But anyways, all that to say, so I was thinking Berg, Henderson, and Boswell and Gillespie. And I thought they all played very well. The Nate Amon thing, I thought watching the game, the worst injury I would see from a Tennessee athlete tonight was him. And then here, Carlin Pickens may be done for the year with her shoulder.
Is that getting out there that she's done for the year? Because I saw she got hurt.
That's on boards. That's on boards. That's hearsay. But if that's true, man, that really stinks because
that's brutal.
I didn't mean to come here and talk Lady Vols softball, but she's the best player on the best team in America. That's a big deal.
And you could probably say, Roberto, to that level, she is the best player on Tennessee's campus at their sport. Like she is.
No doubt.
Yeah, she's the best person in her sport. So, no, that is big news if that's the case. I was hoping it wasn't, but
again, I understand that's internet fodder. It could be BS, and it's pretty hard to hurt your shoulder real bad if you're throwing underhand. I know she throws at a high velocity, but that's pretty difficult to do. So I wouldn't be too worried about it yet. But to the basketball team, just the amount of points in the paint, like we just said, it was like watching a football game where you're going to beat the team across from you. I think you likened it to us like bludgeoning a mid-major or a small mid-major in football.
Yep.
It's like we're going to run the ball 100 times, and we're going to beat you by a requisite number, in basketball terms, like I said, been like 4 touchdowns, right? And we're not going to show anything. Like, we didn't really shoot the ball poorly. We didn't shoot it great. We just kept dunking the ball. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen us dunk the ball that much. Have you?
No, I mean, especially like the lobs were there all night. South Carolina looked like a team that was ready to get to the offseason. And, they flirted with the comeback at the beginning of the second half, but no, Tennessee just kept throwing it in the post. Tonight was not one of the games where I said, hey, switch it up. Let's go small. No, tonight was, hey, you're bigger than them. You want it more. Just punish them.
And I'll leave you with this. I mean, everybody was saying today on the radio, like, Tennessee's going 0 for 3 in the next 3, and they're going to be a 9 seed. So it was kind of nice to not, I think we pretty well shored up the 6 line tonight. I would rather be a 6 than a 5. I want to ask you that, and I'll hang up and listen, but would you rather be a 6 than a 5?
Appreciate the phone call, Philadelphia, Tennessee, a.k.a. Roberto. I appreciate you. I'll talk to you later. That's a good question. The seed line, to me, tells you that you have a better chance as a 6 seed to make the Elite 8. Lower chance to make the Sweet 16, so it just depends on what you want. Donovan, are you maximizing your options of getting to the Elite 8, which, of course, gives you a better chance to make the Final Four, or are you just trying to make sure you get to the second weekend?
I would say just get to the second weekend if I'm being realistic.
Okay. And that's fine. I'm not saying there's a right or wrong answer. I'm just saying I think my answer depends on what your answer is. If you tell me would I rather be a 4 or 5 or 6, like a 6 seed is going to have a better chance of getting to the Elite 8. A 4 or 5 seed is going to have a better chance of getting to the Sweet 16. So it just kind of depends on what you want. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I definitely want to go deep in the tournament, John. We're so up and down. We have the ability to make the Elite 8 and to fare well in it, but we also have the ability to be bounced.
All time, just a quick look on NCAA.com. Every seed, March of 1985 to March of 2025. The 6 seed is 168 and 159. So they are 9 games above 500. The 5 seed is 183 and 160. Not a huge difference in the losses, 160 to 159. They do have 15 more wins. Now the 4 seed, it goes up to 250 and 158. So just like if you're looking at just winning as many games as possible, that's a pretty big deal.
I mean, that's pretty much out of the picture, though, isn't it? The 4 seed.
Yeah, I mean, I would think so. I would think so.
I didn't want to be a Debbie Downer. I was just
I think it is. So, like, to me, the 5 seed and 6 seed not much differently.
Right.
Let's go back to the phone lines. Let's grab Rando. Rando, welcome to the Voluntary Reaction. The floor is yours.
Hey guys.
What's up, brother?
So, hey, just hanging out. So I saw your commentary just real quick off topic. Scream 7's really that bad?
I've come down a little bit on all my hates. A little bit. If you like the series, go watch it. I was disappointed. I love the series.
My 19-year-old really wants to go, and I thought 5 and 6 were actually pretty damn good.
I liked 5 and 6 too. And look, I love the series. It's my favorite movie series, so I did go in with high expectations. It didn't meet my expectations, but it's still worthy of watching, is what I'll say to you, Rando.
Okay, so I may like it more than you because I'm going in like expecting to get kicked in the crotch.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll just get punched in the throat.
I have lowered your expectations. Yeah, getting punched real hard in the shoulder is not the same as getting kicked in the nuts. So, yeah, you might be okay.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for that. Looking at the 5-6 where you guys are pointing out the stats, I mean, as I understand it from all my years of watching the tournament, it's really kind of a case where if you're a 5-6, you're a lower mid-tier power conference team, which is really what we are. But we're going to catch somebody early. It's going to be like a 28-4 team that won the Colonial. That can get really hot. That's usually very senior heavy.
Sure.
That's usually why those 5 and 6s breed a lot of upsets because you've got a kind of a unsteady team from a power conference against a really damn good team from the next level down, which is not where I want to be. But I'm kind of with you. I don't see a path to a 4 unless we don't lose again.
Right.
And then we might squeeze the last 4, but then we're going to be going up against the number 1 overall in the Sweet 16, and that's going to be, or well, somewhere around there. But it's just going to be a disaster. I don't think the season goes too much longer. If this team plays the way they played tonight on Saturday, do you think we can beat Vandy?
I think we can definitely beat Vandy at home. Like I think it's a similar situation where we're still just really big compared to them. Nate Ament didn't play great against Vanderbilt in Nashville either. Like I didn't think he was a big-time difference maker. They did a really good job of defending him, actually. To me, Randall, it comes down to what Tennessee can do on the defensive end. They bottled Vanderbilt up and didn't really allow them to shoot a lot of threes and make a lot of threes. If you can get a similar defensive intensity, then I still fully expect to beat Vanderbilt. And I expect, even without Nate Ament, to go into that game as a favorite. So, yeah.
1.5, maybe 2.5.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was gonna say 2.5 or 3 is what I had in my mind. But yeah, I mean, like anywhere from 1.5 to 3, I think it's fair.
So I think we can do that. I'd like to see Kerry have a legacy game Saturday. That would just be great to see that against Vandy. But I mean, as long as we can get old Acapara to play a solid, 30 plus minutes without getting in any kind of foul trouble and clogging up the paint and keeping them out of the ability to score, I like our chances. I really do. And then I think we can probably win 1 at the SEC tournament, maybe luck into 2, depending on how the draw looks, and if we can get the Ament back. But I think if we're going to win 2 or more at the SEC tournament, we're going to need Nate. And I'm just not sure if Barnes wants him to even come back, because I think you've got to win the SEC tournament.
It's funny you say that. Grant Ramey, who does a great job covering the team, he had a tweet that said, this was at the 7:40 mark, so this would have been basically right at the end of the game. Said Rick Barnes just smiled and motioned for Nate Ament to get in the game. Nate jumped up and ran in like he was ready to go. Of course, he was wearing street clothes. So, like, they're having fun with it, which makes me think Nate was still locked in on the bench. By all accounts, Barnes says Nate is really tough. Like, he's been playing through an injury all year. I don't think he's going to quit on this team. I do think he's going to play. I just wonder if they'll be super cautious and wait till the NCAA tournament, or if they try to get him back as soon as possible. He might play on Saturday against Vanderbilt. You never know. I'm just saying what I think.
I would, and look, we all know it's not senior day for Nate Ament, but that's his final game at TBA, so it would be damn good to see him play. And I think because of that, if he can go at all, even if it's for 10 minutes, I mean, Barnes may try to put him in there. At least get him some court time one last time. So on to the next. I'll take a victory. I mean, beating the hell out of a fat kid is what it is. It's a win. So we take it and we move on.
Appreciate the phone call.
And let's go kill him, man. See you.
You're the man, Rando. Appreciate you. 865-966-3435 if you want to be next. Donovan, I got those numbers for you. Shout out to my boy Marwan for sending these in. All right, so this is the success rate by seed to advance to each round. We'll just do 6 and 5 seed because I do think that's kind of where we're going to be kind of capped at. In a couple of weeks, if we're higher, we'll talk about it then. But for now, let's just do 6 and 5 seed. To make the round of 32, a.k.a. win one game, 5 seeds do it 64.4% of the time. 6 seeds do it 61.3% of the time. So that's a 3.1 difference. Not drastic. Sweet 16, 34.4% of the time for 5 seeds. 29.4% for 6 seeds. So that's a little bit more drastic. You're at the 4.5% range there. But here's where it switches, and here's where I was saying. 6 seed makes the Elite Eight 10.6% of the times, whereas 5 seeds only make it 7.5% of the time. So it actually switches there in the Sweet 16 trying to advance to the Elite Eight.
Shout out to Marwan for those numbers.
He didn't run these. He just found them for me. Now, the Final Four If you care about that, 5.6% of the time for the 5 seed, only 1.9% for the 6 seed. But again, that's why I asked. Like, it depends on what you're saying. Sweet 16, I think the 5 seed's a nice advantage. Elite 8, the 6 seed might actually be a better path. 865-966-3435 if you want to weigh in. Let's check in on the chat over on YouTube. Chad writes in, Carey once again useless when he is on the floor.
I didn't know what I didn't respond to Rando when he wanted Carey to have that legacy game Saturday.
I mean, it's just because he played at Vandy.
Right, but man, I'm to the point where I don't want to see the dude.
Which, to be fair, Rick Barnes kind of agree with you tonight. Only 15 minutes for Jalen Carey. That was the lowest of the big men outside of Dwayne Brown. Like Estrella definitely passed him in the rotation tonight. Let's go back to the phone lines. Let's grab Jack. Jack, appreciate you holding, brother. The floor is yours.
What's up, John? How you doing?
What's up, Jack? My boy.
It's good to hear from you. I'm glad the Vols got a big win for you.
How the hell are you, my friend? What's the latest?
I'm doing great. I'm just working at Papa John's right now.
Just slinging pizza?
Just wanted to call in and check on you guys. Glad the boys stepped up without Nate. I saw before this game that only 3 times have we had players not named Nate Ament or Jacoby Gillespie score 20. So I'm glad we had 2 of them tonight.
Oh, wow. Look at Jack coming with some stats. Only 3 times all year. Only 3 times all year we've had somebody score 20 points, and we had Felix Okpara tonight, just a dunk fest. In prime DeAndre Jordan, just dunk after dunk after dunk. He scored 20 points tonight. And then, JP Estrella with 22 himself.
Yeah, I think JP had 20 against North Florida, and Felix had 20 against Rice, and then, of course, Carey had 20 in the loss to Syracuse. So can't really even value those 20-point games that much. But glad they stepped up when we needed them. So it's at least something, I think.
Do you ever steal the pizza and just say, and just don't answer the calls and just say you don't know what happened to it? Take it home for yourself?
What? They give me a nice discount for the cheese bread, the side breads, and I can get them for $2. So that's what I end up doing.
Now, how's last I talked to you, you were kind of on a workout mission. You had gained some weight working out. How is that still going on, or what are we doing here?
Yeah, I still got the workout room next to the bedroom, so I'm benching. Get some curls going.
What are we up to on the bench?
Bench? I've never been a bench guy. This is really the first I've started. So I'm repping. I'm doing 3 sets of 12 of 45 on each side.
Oh, okay. So you're doing dumbbells. Okay.
Well, I'm doing bench too.
Oh, wait. 3 sets with 45s on side. Oh, 135. All right, that's good. That's kind of the baseline, Jack. I was going to say we need to make sure.
I figured.
Did you see the Ohio radio guy? He couldn't get up 95, a grown-ass man. He was in his 40s. He couldn't get up 95 pounds last week. Did you see that?
Was this a Barstool? Yeah.
No, it wasn't the Barstool guy. This is the ESPN radio guy. There was the Barstool guy last year that couldn't get one at 135, and they made fun of him. Now, he actually, I will give him credit. I think it was Ohio Tate or whatever his name is. I did see this year he went from 0 reps to 15. So he actually put in some work this year. I'll give him credit for that.
Okay, respect. Yeah, I figured it was the baseline, but I'm happy with it. So
okay.
We'll just keep getting bigger, baby. You know it.
Well, you're handsome. You got a good head of hair on you. As long as you can do 135, you'll be good. We were talking about you this week when it came to the basketball tournament. Our team is going to really miss you this year.
You think so? How come?
Well, you were a good teammate. I liked playing basketball with you. You were good at passing.
Oh, that tournament. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The 3-on-3 station tournament. I mean, I thought me and you had a pretty good rapport. I thought we played pretty good together.
We were prime Jordan and Pippen out there.
No, we were Jordan. We were Jordan on the Wizards and Pippen on the Trailblazers the last year. But at least we had a sharp mind. We knew where the other person was going to go. I let you down, and then you let me down missing a bunch of layups. But either way,
who's my replacement now? Is it Sammy?
Yeah, Sammy. And Sammy. He looks like he can play, but he can't play. Sammy ain't got no game.
I believe in him. He'll get you some buckets.
Kangaroo Jack, my boy, appreciate you calling. Tell your mother I said hello. And
Of course.
get your people the pizza. I'll talk to you soon, brother.
See you, man.
865-966-3435. Like I said to Chad before we took Jack, it did seem like Carey fell out of favor a little bit tonight. Like, keep in mind, Estrella was in that starting lineup before he got hurt. Tonight made me think he's headed back to that starting lineup, or at least playing the starter minutes when it comes time to actually count these games where it's do or die time. Shout out to Ethan Berg, though, man. He played 18 minutes, and he never really looked lost. Now, granted, this is a 3-14 team in the SEC. This is South Carolina. They're not very good. But Berg, to me, played pretty well. Had a nice steal, hit a couple nice threes. We can work with that, right, Donovan?
Oh, yeah. He scored the same amount of points as Jacoby Gillespie did. And he had valuable minutes. If you're able to handle the ball the way he is and space the floor out, and you're not a detriment to the team at this point in our season, then yes, we'll take that.
Yeah, Gillespie's in a bit of a shooting slump. You know, he is 6 for his last 26 from 3. It's not good. It's not good at all. But tonight, as Roberto said, he did a good job of distributing. He played some point guard. He dished out 12 assists. On Saturday against Alabama, he had 8 steals and 7 assists. So he hasn't let it take him out of his game. And hopefully the shooting catches fire, though, because you're going to need him to actually make some shots and perform in the postseason. He's going to have to be that guy. If Tennessee's going to make a deep run, it's going to be because he and Ament carry you, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was going to say, especially if Nate holds out a little while longer than what's predicted or what's expected, then you're going to need that against those better teams. My thought on Nate is he looked like, or I didn't get to watch it, I listened, and going off that tweet, sounds like he's good, but there's got to be somebody in his ear, right, John? Hey, you've got this future ahead of you. Don't go do something stupid. Wait, give it a minute.
I would hope that Tennessee feels the same way, because you weren't going to lose to South Carolina tonight without Nate Ament, right? You saw it play out. They're not a good team. They don't care. They have no pride about themselves. They're not playing for anything. Vanderbilt on Saturday, that's one we want to win, but really I don't think that's a difference in seeding, really. 5 or 60, whatever. We've been talking about the difference. It's pretty negligible. So, if I'm in Ament's camp, but also if I'm Tennessee and I'm Rick Barnes, my focus is I want you to be 100%. I don't want this to linger. I don't want you to be prohibited from playing your style because of injury if we can help it. So, the Vanderbilt game, and like I said, even the SEC tournament, if I have to punt both of those to have you healthy for the NCAA tournament, then that's what I'm going to do. Because I got to say tonight, Jacoby, Berg, and Evans, or Jacoby and Boswell and Evans, those trios looked pretty good. To me, and I've been saying it all year, to me, if you can put that fourth person out there as Nate Ament and then have Felix Okpara, that's a 5-man lineup that I think Tennessee can wreak some havoc with. That's a 5-man lineup that can get to the Elite Eight. If Berg shoots the ball well and Boswell does, the 10 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists thing, that's the type of lineup that can maybe upset somebody and get to the Final Four, depending on matchup. Just, depending on matchup. That lineup can't beat Michigan. And it's not going to beat Duke. But I'd roll the dice with that lineup against Arizona. Now, Arizona would be favored. Arizona would probably beat you. But I'd roll the dice. I'd say, hey, give us our best chance. I'd feel just as confident going up against this Arizona team if those 4 guys are playing well and you're playing small as I did against Purdue or Houston the last couple of years. You lost both those games, but hell, you went into it thinking you at least had a chance to win. I would lock that in for sure. So, for tonight's purposes, Donovan, Berg and Evans passed the test I needed to see. We'll see if they can do it again on Saturday if Nate Ament doesn't play. And quite frankly, I kind of hope he doesn't play. I kind of hope he does rest, and I kind of hope these guys do get some more minutes and get some more reps to see what they look like together.
See, I'm scared if he doesn't play because of the that I'm afraid that Barnes is going to go back into, hey, let's play inside, even when Nate comes back. And, I mean, the lineup you just said, I 100% agree. It gives us the best versatility, the best option to score the ball. I just don't believe that we'll ever have that on there for a consistent amount of time throughout the game.
And if we go back to going big, I do think that's probably our best bet of winning in round one against a mid-major team. Just pummel them like we did in South Carolina. Just, hey, we're bigger. You don't have a bunch of 7 foot, 6'10" guys. You're not going to beat us. We're going to get every offensive rebound. We can get these putbacks against you. I'm okay with that in round one, but you're not going to make the Sweet 16. You're definitely not going to make the Elite Eight. You have zero chance of going to the Final Four playing that style.
I agree.
Zero chance. And like I said, I wouldn't even feel confident in a second round game playing that style. We have to have that other gear where you can switch it up, go small, have some versatility. It's just the way I feel. Elijah says Carey needs to start getting did not plays, and we need to play Estrella more. I thought tonight was perfectly fine. I have maintained, and at this point I kind of feel, Elijah, like I'm one of the biggest Jalen Carey haters out there. But, like, I'm completely fine with him getting 15 minutes. I thought tonight was just the right amount. Let him go out there because he still can do some good things. He is worthy of being in a rotation. In his 15 minutes tonight, he grabbed 5 rebounds, 3 of them offensive. 1 of 5 from the field's not great, but, like, at least he ate up some minutes for some guys. I'm okay with him playing 15 minutes. I really don't want him over 20. Like, I do not want his minutes starting with a 2. I want him starting with a 1.
He had 4 points and 4 rebounds in the first 3 minutes of the game, though.
He's good at starting. I will say he does seem good at starting. Maybe that's why Rick Barnes has him in the starting lineup. But again, tonight, Rick Barnes didn't force it. He played 15 minutes. To me, that's about the absolute most I want to see. I'm fine with him still being in the rotation, but let's cap him. He's not one of our 5 most important players. Let's not treat him that way.
Yeah, you had 9 different guys play with 8 different guys score.
Yeah, Henderson, it kind of sucked for Henderson. He hit a 3 tonight, but it was a 3. The offensive post player got called for 3 seconds right before it happened. He ended up making the shot, and maybe you feel a little bit different about him had he been 1 of 2 from 3 for 3 points, but instead 7 minutes, no points. Like, I don't think he's going to be a factor in the postseason. But Berg, Estrella, Brown, all 3 of those guys, I have at least a little confidence in. Then, of course, throw Nate Amon in there. Henderson's probably going to be an odd man out, and that's okay. That's okay. We just need 1 guard to pop, and right now, coming off this game tonight, that was an easy game. You feel pretty good about Berg coming out of this one. Let's go back to the phone lines. Let's grab Anthony. What's up, Big Tone? How you doing, my friend? Welcome to the Voluntary Reaction.
Big John, what's up?
How are you, my friend?
Hey, for the record, feel free to call me Tony. That's what my friends call me.
Okay. What's up, Tony?
That's completely fine. I want to come in.
You don't like Big Tone? You don't like that?
Oh, a Big Tone's fine also.
Okay. Let's go, Big Tone.
Tono, Big Tone, Two-Tone Tony, any of that's fine, man.
Two-Tone Tony, let's go.
So I want to kind of come in with a little positivity first.
Let's go.
Kind of like we do with Bubba. I like to start off with a little positivity. I think Estrella looks like he's healthy, and I think that's big for us. I really wished he wouldn't have given up on his 1 or 2 3-point shots a game. I wish he was still shooting those at the top of the key. But it's good to see him healthy now. As far as Ament goes, you may disagree with this, but I felt like he was starting to maybe hit a little bit of a freshman wall. So maybe taking a week, 2 weeks off might refresh him and it might re-energize him for a stretch run. What do you think about that?
I don't know if he was hitting a freshman wall, but I will say, Tone, that he did get shut down by Vanderbilt, and they bothered him with physicality. They swarmed him. He didn't get any foul calls, and he wasn't off to the hottest start against Alabama. So, I don't know if I'm ready to call that a freshman wall, but I'm also willing to say that I'm completely fine with him getting healthy and resting, and like I want his best in the tournament. So I think we're saying the same thing.
Wasn't his Missouri game kind of bad too?
He sprained his ankle early in that game, though, if you remember. Like he got hurt against Missouri like 6 or 7 minutes into the game. He started out scoring your first 5 points, or at least 5 of your first 7.
That's right.
And then he sprained his ankle and went out for a TV timeout. So, like, they say that's whenever he aggravated himself. So I'm not judging him on that game, really.
Okay. Yeah, I hear you. It felt like to me watching that game, he was moving around just fine. But, yeah, I think that's fair. All right. Now
it fits my narrative. It fits my narrative. So whether or not it's fair, it's what I'm going with.
All right. Now I got a question for you. Has Barnes ever took us into the tournament as anything lower than a 5 seed?
Lower than a 5 seed, I do not believe. 5 seed is the lowest I can remember, and that was the year, of course, you lost to Oregon State. That was the worst year of Barnes' tenure. Like, even the first 2 years counting it, when we were absolute dog shit and weren't very good, I had less fun watching the Oregon State year where, Fulkerson and Uros and Keon Johnson, Jagan Springer couldn't get it done. The 5 seed, I believe, is the lowest. I'm double-checking. And that is the case. Yep. He was a 5 seed that year. He was a 3 seed his first year making the tournament with Admiral, 2 seed after that. 3, 4, 2, 2. So, yep, 5's the lowest he's been.
COVID came along at a pretty good time for him.
It did. COVID came along at a really good time because we were missing that tournament for sure.
That's impressive.
We'd have had to win like 2 games in the SEC tournament. We'd have had to win at least 2 games in the SEC tournament that year.
Yeah, we were on the classic wrong side of the Conzo Martin bubble. That's what that season felt like.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that's impressive. Never being lower than a 5 seed. That's something. That's pretty good. That's a high level of consistency. How many times has he beaten a higher seed since he's been here? Maybe once. The Duke game.
I don't even know if Duke. I think we were higher than Duke in that game. I think we were the 4 seed.
And they were 5.
Yeah, I think we were the 4 seed and they were the 5 seed.
Okay, so we've never beaten a higher seed. So we're going to have to do some unprecedented stuff. All right, so my last thing is watching the game tonight, if I had to take one kind of nitpicky thing, I still felt like Meechie Johnson was kind of getting to the rim off the dribble drive. What do you think is more likely to be our undoing in the tournament? Our inability to stop the dribble drive penetration, or our inability to make a 3-pointer?
I was going to say those are the 2 things. Like, they're probably going to rear their head at the same time, Anthony, a.k.a. Tony, a.k.a. Big Tone, a.k.a. Two-Tone Tony. I don't know which one I'm more worried about, but, like, we can't get a stop. We can't stop somebody else's lead guard. And then, yeah, tonight we were 4 of 14 from 3. So, like, those are our 2 biggest weaknesses. And glass half empty, word to Bad News Bubba. Those are, like, 2 of the most important things when it comes to the tournament. So, this team is not really equipped for a deep run, if we're being honest with ourselves.
Well, the baseball team, I thought this might have been their best-looking game all season. So that was, that's a good sign.
Well,
I'll see you, John.
Appreciate the phone call, man. Thanks for keeping us rolling. The baseball team, it's crazy to me you said it was our best performance. I don't disagree. Considering, Donovan, did you watch this game?
I have no idea what happened in the baseball game.
Our first 14 pitches were all balls.
That does not sound like the best performance all season.
No, but Brady Frederickson came in, struck out the first 14 pitches were balls, which means the bases were loaded. Mm-hmm. The 4th guy got 2 balls on him, and Elander said, all right, you're out. Brought in, the submarine pitcher from ETSU, Brady Frederickson. He ended up striking out the next batter, giving up a sac fly, and then I want to say striking out the 3rd batter. So you only give up 1 run, which is crazy. You only give up 1 run that entire game. It's crazy considering the way the game started. You walk the bases loaded. It's 2-0 to the cleanup hitter. To say you only gave up 1 run that game is absolutely bananas.
Yeah.
And then your bats did the job. I mean, you scored enough runs. Ford had a big home run. You manufactured some runs. Big Tone's probably right. It was a complete performance. It's just crazy considering how bad the game started.
Not to put the guy on blast, but do we know who was on the mound to start the game? Is he a regular?
It was Brown. Yeah.
Gotcha.
You kind of see like he's got some big league stuff. He's got some SEC caliber stuff, but he's maybe not ready to be like an SEC pitcher just yet. Like there's some good and some bad there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and against inferior opponents to have that, to be able to battle back, that's honestly a good battle test to get you ready for the SEC play.
Well, and you roll back tomorrow, not against ETSU, but you got Oakland coming in. But yeah, Blaine Brown, by far, of course, he's only started a couple of times. By far, his worst start. He couldn't find the strike zone. He threw 14 pitches; they were all balls. But Brady Frederick, I think I call him Fredericks. Brady Frederick came in and put the fire out, and then the rest of the bullpen was lights out. So I will say, looking at the baseball team, the bullpen should be feeling pretty good right now. I think I went Frederick's son even. So not Fredericks. I think I went Frederick's son. Brady Frederick. Apologies. But he was awesome.
And if we can get a bullpen that we can rely on, that's what's held us back. Granted, we had Tony, but that's what's held us back from making those long, deep runs into Omaha. Other than the one time that we won the national championship.
Other than the time we got a ring.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's what's came up short is what I was getting at.
Sure. But, no, I mean, like, tonight your offense, and give Blaine Brown credit, he knocked in a double in the first inning, so he kind of helps you get your one run back. Tennessee came out and immediately responded and scored 4 runs in the first inning. So, again, tell ETSU that they have the bases loaded, no outs, a 2-0 count, and that they'll be losing by 3 after the first inning. That had to be, like, completely deflating for them. And then, yeah, Henry Ford hit a big monster blast in the 6th inning to kind of put it night, make it 7-1. Tonight was pretty good. Jay Abernathy, 2 of 4 from the plate. I think he's kind of settling into that leadoff spot. Always say it. I'll say it here. Everybody in the lineup, but especially guys I haven't seen do it before, of course. I don't really care what you do in the non-conference. So Abernathy's looking pretty good right now, but like you'll still have those questions when they go up to go up a level or two when it comes to pitching. And of course, the SEC is going to go up a level or two when it comes to pitching.
But for now, it seems like we've not dropped off after Vitello exited and Elander's holding the fort down.
I will say that the vibes are much higher coming off the last 3 games than they were coming off of losing to Kent State 2 out of 3, and then UCLA kind of smacking you around. Vibes are pretty low on Friday night. I would say after beating Arizona State, after beating Vatech, and then, of course, tonight, 7-1, I'd say people are feeling pretty good. 865-966-3435 if you want to weigh in. We'll get to your comments. Blind Vegan Rescue. Thank you. Okay, I'm not going to accuse you of gaslighting me. But a couple episodes ago I said that you had changed your name. He said he didn't change it. YouTube just quit showing all of it. It used to be like Blind Vegan Rescue Dog 42060. It was a whole bunch of stuff. And I said, hey, what happened to your name? And he gaslit me. He said, I didn't change it. What the hell are you talking about? And then I felt dumb. But now he comes back and confirms that YouTube just doesn't show it all anymore. So now it just shows up in the chat as Blind Vegan Rescue.
That's
my boy.
That's growth as a community.
That's Blind Vegan Rescue. Baby dog is my baby doll. That's my boy. He listens. He's here. That's my guy. So me and him are on the same page. We're in lockstep. Let's go back to the phone lines. Let's grab Blake. Blake, you're next on the Voluntary Reaction. The floor is yours.
Hey, John. How are we doing?
Doing good, brother. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. Hey, switching back to basketball for a second and thinking through the tournament where we're going to be seated right now. It looks like I think we're a 5. If you're assuming we're able to get through that dreaded 5-12 matchup, what 4 seed would you be the most optimistic about, and which one scares you the most when you're thinking about the realistic 4 and 5 matchups that we've got right now.
Do you have the bracketology in front of you? Can you give me the 4 seeds right now?
I can't say them exactly. I'm not. I can't. Okay. But I think it's like Gonzaga.
Let me pull them up. Hold on. I'll pull them up. Right. So Gonzaga. Yep, you're right about that. Virginia is another one.
Texas Tech, maybe.
Texas Tech is a 4 seed right now in ESPN's latest. Arkansas is the 5 seed. St. John's. Yeah, give me St. So if I'm looking, so we're looking at 4 seeds. Okay, so Gonzaga, Virginia, Texas Tech, Alabama, like you said. Texas Tech, without their best player, is appealing. I still think they're a good team, though. Gonzaga, I don't really want any parts of them. I would rank it Virginia 1, Texas Tech 2, and then Gonzaga 3. I don't think they'd realistically give us Alabama in the second round. Although if they in the second round, there's rules against that where they try to avoid it, but sometimes they can't, especially if a team's played 2 times already. So I'll just rank those 3. How do you feel about it?
I would say I agree with Virginia. I think Virginia kind of got exposed based on Saturday. And granted, Duke is in a multiple categories above where I think we are this year.
Yeah,
but I do think Virginia has been hiding behind a pretty weak schedule all year, even though 25-4 is 25-4, but I think the teams that they've gotten through has not been that impressive. So I think Virginia, definitely number 1. I go back and forth on that second one with Gonzaga and
Texas Tech.
Yeah. Even though Texas Tech, they lost Toppin, they still have Christian Anderson, and they just beat Iowa State, a top 5 team on the road. So It still shows that they can compete with just about anybody.
Now, I will say they're in a dogfight right now in the second half at home against TCU. Now, TCU is 9-7 in the Big 12. They're a tournament team, but they are in a dogfight at home.
That's fair.
Yeah,
I feel like they're the most volatile of those teams. Like, you could see, like, Texas Tech might have 4 of the best wins in the country, but they also have some pretty prudent losses as well. So it's like if you catch them on a night, I think Tennessee can.
The crazy thing is, Blake, though, I don't think anybody has a worse loss than Gonzaga. Like when you look at what they did when they dropped their quad 3 game at home, they almost lost again the other night to a bad team. So they're definitely gettable themselves.
That's why I think I'd rather see Gonzaga over Tech, just seeing what Tech's ceiling is, even without Toppin.
Sure.
I still think, especially with Christian Anderson, and kind of to your point a few minutes ago about the guards, I think our guard defense is our biggest weakness. I mean, if you look at the top 5 or top 6 guards that we've played, I think they've averaged 25 plus against us. Ugh. So I don't feel confident having to guard Anderson, even though they won't have Toppin to lob it down low to. So I think I'd rather Virginia is definitely the one where it's like, please give me them. I would take them every day of the week, and then probably go Zaga and then Tech, and then if you're just, I agree. I don't think there's a way that we would play Bama unless something really shaky happened. But
I'm not scared of Bama either. Yeah, I'm not afraid of them. I think we beat them on Saturday if Nate Ament plays. So your overall point of the 4 seeds being pretty weak, I agree with. I think I would roll the ball out there and play any of those 4 seeds and take my chances.
Mm-hmm. And it'll be interesting to see kind of how much do those seeds shift over the next week or so. Because I think 4 of the 8 4 and 5 seeds are SEC teams between us, Bama, Vandy, and Arkansas. And how much does that get? Can Vandy or Arkansas shake up to a 4? I don't think we can get to a 4 unless we run the table and somehow beat Florida in that Saturday game. I think we're kind of just hard on that 5 line now. But I was looking at it and I felt like we had a realistic chance for the Sweet 16, and then it just depends on which 1 seed. Do you get that? Sure. I don't think any of these 1 seeds we really have a chance against, but you never know.
No, I would roll the dice against Arizona before any of the other 1 seeds. I don't want any part of Michigan. I don't want any part if Florida gets there or Duke. But I would take my chances against Tobe Awaka and Arizona. You talked about the teams right there in the 4 seed. Texas Tech just went ahead. They're up 50-48. Alabama's down right now, 8 points with 8 minutes left. They're at Georgia.
At Georgia?
Yep.
Yeah.
They're down 8 points. St. John's is hovering around that 4-5 line. They're down 7 right now at home to Georgetown. Georgetown's that is 5-13 in the Big East, 13-16 overall. So that'd be a really, really bad loss for St. John's. Blake, anything else on the way out?
No, I think that was kind of the main question. Appreciate you guys.
Hey, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for keeping us rolling. 865-966-3435 if you want to weigh in. We'll start wrapping up here. It was nice to get this game over at 7:45.
If
I can get you out of here by 9 o'clock, that'll be a big win. If I can get out of here
lady's gonna love you, John.
If I can get out of here by 9 o'clock, that'll be a big win. And quite frankly, 8:45 is looking pretty good. But hey, as long as the people want to call and talk, we'll stay here and talk. I get my say every morning at 8 o'clock. Listen to Talk Sports. If you don't, and like I said, if you are an Apple user, go download the new Fan Run app. Have you checked it out yet, Donovan?
I have not. I was doing so currently.
Do it right now and tell me what you think about it. As a listener to the weekday programming, as someone who fires up the app, do the update and tell me what you think about the new app. Because I'll be honest, I thought the old app sucked. I didn't even have the old app on my phone. That's how bad I thought it was. This new app, though, I got to say something I'm proud of. I want to hear your thoughts. I'll wait.
I'm not very technologically. I've got CarPlay support.
Look at him. He's already fired up. He ain't even got to it yet.
Notifications. Personalized that.
He ain't even got to it yet. Let me know what you see, what you think when you see it.
I've got a live chat.
Yeah, the live chat's there.
Oh, man.
You got the news stories from fanrunradio.com. All the podcasts in one place. All the YouTube videos in one place. The live stream from...
Oh, it's up right now. There we are.
Tell me how much better that one is than the old one.
There's so much more features and it looks so much more user-friendly.
It is.
To get that much more into an app and to keep it more user-friendly, that's hats off to the people. Hats off.
Download the new app if you haven't yet. Android, we're working on it. I tried to get it ready for Android. They said I have to do a private policy thing. I have to submit it. I got to do this whole thing. We're working on it. It'll be there when it's there. But the Apple users, all my blue text boys and girls, go ahead, download the new app. It's a good one. Last call for phone calls. Like I said, I'll stay here as long as you want.
I think this is the most phone calls we've got during the midweek.
You weren't here the one night that we beat Georgia. When we beat Georgia in overtime, me and William did about 11 phone calls. That was whenever people started buying in on the team. That was whenever people got really fired up. We did pretty good there.
I'm going to blame it on the ice storm.
Blind, vegan, rescue, baby, badass, Jalen the dog. That's my boy. That's my guy. Baby doll. That's my boy. 865-966-3435. I don't have any information. I haven't even gotten any updates as we've been doing this radio show, but the Carlin Pickens news would be pretty sad.
Yeah, I was trying, as you were on the line with one of the callers, I was trying to look and search, and there's been no update, no official update. There's message boards, rumors.
Sure.
But I don't feel it's responsible for us to
we have a little bit more obligation than that. We're not like exactly journalists, but we got to be at least a little bit better than that.
Especially when it comes to hurt.
Yeah, like I said, and I don't think it's a hot take.
No.
Like Nate Amon's going to be in the NBA and make a lot of money, but like at their craft, no one on that campus, football, basketball, women's basketball, ping pong, nothing. Nobody does their craft better than she does over there. It would actually be pretty heartbreaking if she had this season derailed with an injury. That'd be tough.
Yeah. As someone who doesn't follow Lady Vols softball,
sure,
it would make me feel a type of way about it. That's how big it would be.
And I won't act like I'm the biggest fan, but I watch the SEC games, and I definitely watch all the tournament games. And like I was there last year, the heartbreak against Oklahoma when she came in or stayed in too long and gave up the walk off. Like she came back on a mission. This program came back on a mission. They're number one in the country again. I want them to break through and finally win. Karen Weekly's been close a couple times. I want them to break through and win. Losing her would be such a gut punch. Senior Day inside the Thompson Bowling Arena at Food City Center on Saturday. not going to be as emotional as it was last year, of course, with two of your main staples, two, 4-year players that gave it all for the Vols, Zakai Ziegler and Jemai Mashek. You don't have any of those guys this year. But it's a game where, it'll be the last time a lot of the players play in front of the fans. Now, again, not the same level of beloved, but last time players play, last chance in the regular season for a resume win. Donovan, how do you feel about Vandy coming in on Saturday? And let's just assume for now that
no amen.
Yeah.
I feel we have the ability to beat them. I'm not as confident. If you told me Nate's back, Nate's healthy, I'm not even sweating it. Not saying that it's a lock when I say that, but what I'm saying is I like our chances that much more. But if Estrella is back to 100% health, Okpara seems to be getting in a groove. Like we've said multiple times on this program, he can get 10, 12 points by just being big, John.
That's all he has to do. It's really inexcusable, Donovan, that he can't score, or if he doesn't score 12 points. I'm not asking for 20, but you should be able to big your way to 10 or 12 points.
So I believe we can beat them, especially at home. Rick Barnes doesn't lose at home unless we're playing Kentucky.
I felt a lot better about that until you blew that game against Alabama. That was the worst part about losing to Alabama, is that I had to quit saying that. They didn't deserve to win. They stole it from you. You choked, whatever, but they did beat you.
But I'm looking forward to it. A lot of things happening. This week. Definitely going to still tune into that because I'm hoping we can still find a way with some of these other teams, hopefully picking up losses. I see Mississippi State and Florida very early in the game. They're within 2-3 points of one another. Kentucky, Alabama, both losing right now. Maybe we can still slide into a bye, possibly a double bye.
You Oklahoma's up 55-36, so that should put you ahead of Missouri again. Missouri's going to be 10-7. Tennessee now 11-6. That's going to move you ahead of them. Kentucky's down 18. Now there's 11 minutes left in that game, in both of those games. So they could have 20-point comebacks, but let's assume
Ask me how I know.
Yeah, let's assume they don't. Garth Brooks over there asked me how I know. Let's assume that doesn't happen, and that Oklahoma and A&M hold on. You'll be ahead of both Kentucky and Missouri. They'll be 10-7. You'll be 11-6. You'll be back in the position to be the 4 seed, I believe, in the SEC, which means if you win on Saturday against Vanderbilt, you'll be guaranteed the double bye. Good news is you get the double bye. Bad news is that means you get Florida in the semifinals, but I would be okay with that. Either beat Florida, make a statement, or go home and get an extra day of rest.
Who's the 3?
Right now, the 3 is Alabama. Arkansas is the 2. The 3 is Alabama.
I got you. I knew 1 and 2. Wasn't for sure about the 3. We've split our games with Alabama.
Yep.
But
they're 2 games ahead of you now in the loss column. So if Alabama loses tonight, which they are losing right now, they're down 9 with 7 minutes left. If they lose tonight and then lose on Saturday against Auburn, which not really likely but possible, you would go into a tie, and I don't know exactly what the tiebreakers would look like. I haven't done the math yet. They beat Arkansas. We lost Arkansas, so they would beat us in the tiebreaker, I'm pretty sure.
I don't have no idea.
It typically goes head-to-head.
And then common
opponents. And we both lost to Florida, but they beat Arkansas. We lost Arkansas. So, I think they would have the edge above us over that. All right. So I'll do one more sweep of comments. Let's see here. Always appreciate the YouTube content. Appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate you. Blind Vegan Rescue. Baby Badass. Jalen the Dog says, Virginia being seeded so high is a joke. They haven't beaten anyone. That would be an ideal matchup for a 4-5. I agree. He says, call me crazy, but I thought we looked just as good, if not a bit better, versus Bama with Nate out. It's not like he can really create in the half court. I thought, I'm not going to call you crazy, because I do think for 30 minutes you could maybe say that. You're up, 11 with 8 minutes left?
What does he mean by creating the half court? Create his own shot?
I will say this. I don't agree with that take that he can't create in the half court, but I do agree that he struggles to create in the half court when Jalen Carey is hogging up the lane.
Bingo.
To me, that's the difference. And maybe Rick Barnes isn't going to give him any space, but like, go back to the Vanderbilt game on the road. I think it was like the 8-9 minutes mark. We go down 7 points. He takes Jalen Carey out. We go small. Amen immediately hits a three, gets a layup, misses a wide open dunk, but he drove baseline 9 times out of 10, 90 times out of 100. He's going to make that dunk. He misses a bunny at the rim. Like, he started getting to the rim and was able to create. Ament does struggle, though, to create in the half court when the lane is clogged, though, because he is a guy that needs to be able to use the high post into the low post, into the back down, into the rim. Like, he needs to be able to operate in that space. And when you have Akbar and Carey out there, that's 4 guys taking up your real estate. You know what I mean? Because it's not only them, it's their defenders.
Yeah, as with his height, that's one of his biggest advantages. Get you out on the key and then beat you down with his height.
I don't agree with the take that he can't create his own space, but I do think he struggles when there's 2 bigs on the court. I want Nate Ament back. I think we're at the best. We're at our best when he's playing. Now we did weather the storm against Alabama pretty good for the majority of that game, but down the stretch, I think you really missed Nate Ament on defense. Like, the fact you had John Fulkerson. Not John Fulkerson, excuse me. Other white guy. When you had J.P. Estrella up against, he might as well have been with John Fulkerson the way he was guarding him. The way him guarding Phylon at the end of the game was barbecue chicken, as Shaq says.
Yeah.
No chance. He was food.
A lot of people don't see that when Nate's out, when any good defender's out, unless you're just an all-star defender like Meshack was.
Right.
Yeah, we might miss his points, but you're going to really miss the defense. I can't diss John Fulkerson. He married a girl I went to school with.
Well, shout out to her. And I wasn't trying to diss him. I was just saying I don't want him out on the perimeter guarding people either. Like, I didn't want J.P. Estrella guarding Phylon. I don't want John Fulkerson guarding Phylon. I would have liked to see Nate Ament out there guarding Phylon and see how that possession went.
Right.
So for that reason, I say it's ludicrous to say we're better without him. Now, we held our own against Alabama for 30 minutes, but we fell apart. Yeah. Now, to play devil's advocate to myself, we have blown double-digit leads with Nate Ament on the floor too. So, like, I got to be fair. We've blown a lot of double-digit leads this year. I'm not blaming Nate Ament not being on the floor against Alabama because we've blown plenty of them with him out there.
I know you've expanded on this time and time again. Talk Sports, 8 to 11, but
8 to 11. Thank you. Tune in tomorrow morning.
Who are you putting those collapses on? The players or the coaches?
Both.
I mean, I'm on my way down here.
I gotta give it to both. There's times where Barnes probably needs to call a timeout. There's probably times where he needs to get different lineups in there, but ultimately, players got to be better. Jacoby Gillespie could probably have won 3 of those games just by not having sloppy turnovers and hitting free throws. Whoever's calling basically the blind lob at the rim, like, we've come out of timeouts late in games multiple times, and he's come around at the free throw line and tried to throw a lob where it's gotten broken up or stolen. Like, whoever's calling those ain't doing him no favors. Well, no, it's both. I won't blame just Rick Barnes. I won't blame just the players. They're both gagging. They're both choking.
Yeah.
As we head out, Oklahoma up 17 with 9 minutes left. Texas A&M up 19 with 9 minutes left. So it's looking good for Tennessee to move back into number 4 in the SEC. Donovan, appreciate you, my brother. Get us out of here. We'll put up the podcast. You can always rewatch on YouTube. I'll be back in the morning, 8 a.m. Tune in, Talk Sports. Download the new Fan Run Radio app. I'm not exaggerating. It's a lot better than the old one. Donovan will vouch. Much, much better than the old one. Talk to you tomorrow.